Dear audience, Assalamu alaikum. A gracious welcome to you all on the second round of the very first Inter-School English Debate competition organized by Bangladesh Television Chattogram Center. Speech is power. It's the power to persuade, to compel, to convert. And when that speech is expressed in a form of a debate, it becomes an interactive and representational argument in which two teams present their argument intending on pursuing one another. In a world where children are spoon-fed information passively, critical thinking is lacking, as learning is no longer interest-based. However, debating encourages a student to avoid passive acceptance of information and rather to examine the topic and accept the new ones that are more logical. I really hope the debaters here today are smart and confident enough to base all of their arguments on logic today. On that very good note, I, your host, Prapanti Chakrabarti, would love to invite you all to come along and enjoy our very lively debate competition today, participated by two competed teams. Today, the selected motion of the debate competition is: the immense potential of information technology is not properly utilized due to the absence of proper training. The team for the motion belongs to Noakhali Zilla School. The team against the motion belongs to BAF Shaheen College, Chattogram. Speakers for the motion are Mostafizur Rahman Tanzim, Mohammad Faizus Salihin, Talha Mahmud. Speakers against the motion are Sauban Sabir, Qazi Shafin Siddiqui, Sharika Nur Rahman. The honorable adjudicators of today's session are Saifuddin Munna, Assistant Professor, Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Premier University, and Vice President, Bangladesh Debate Federation. Dil Umme Salma Chaudhary, Assistant Professor, Department of Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology, University of Chittagong. Hossain Sahadat, Senior Reporter, News 24. The topics on which our honorable judges are going to assign marks in the constructive round are Presentation 5, Language and Pronunciation 10, Presentation of Theory and Information 15, Argumentation and Rebuttal 10. The topics on which our honorable judges are going to assign marks in the rebuttal round are Presentation 5, Language and Pronunciation 5, Argumentation and Rebuttal 20. Dear viewers, now we would like to introduce our honorable moderator of today's program, who will be conducting the entire competition and announce the results at the end. The honorable moderator of today's competition is Dr. Muhammad Khairul Islam, Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, University of Chittagong. Now, I would humbly like to request you, sir, to come up on the stage and take your seat. Before we start the debate, let me inform you about the order and time allocation of each debater. Each debater will get 5 minutes to present his or her speech. An alarming bell will ring on the 4th minute, and a final bell will ring on the 5th minute. In the rebuttal round, both the team leaders will get 2 minutes each. Alarming bell will ring on 1.5 minute, and the final bell will ring on the 2nd minute. Dear viewers, from now onwards, you can not only watch us on your television set, but also on Facebook and YouTube. Tune in on facebook.com/BTV Chattogram and www.youtube.com/@BTV Chattogram. Now, I most humbly would like to request our honorable moderator to preside over the competition and start it.
Thank you. We have already been introduced with the panel of judges, the speakers, and the title of this topic. Now I would like to invite the first speaker from Noakhali Zilla School. He is Mostafizur Rahman Tanzim. He will speak in favor of the motion. May I request Ashfaqur Rahman Tanjim to deliver his speech.
Its potential is vast, its training is vital. For unlocking innovation's door, shaping progress, and guiding minds towards the digital mastery, one cannot think of anything but IT training. The famous quote given by the father of Linux kernel, Linus Torvalds, at the Google Tech Talk conference actually depicts the value of both IT and its training. To be good at something, we have to learn, and training is the only way for learning. Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me a chance to talk about this topic. Today, the motion of our debate is the immense potentiality of information and technology is not properly utilized in Bangladesh due to the absence of proper training. As the affirmative team, we firmly support to this topic. As the opening speaker, I will delineate our stance and provide a perfect definition to this topic. My subsequent speaker will furnish compelling data and logistic reasoning, bolstering our team's position. And finally, our team leader will present persuasive arguments emphasizing how inadequate training hampers the proper utilization of information and technology. But before starting, I want to make it clear that according to the topic, there are two undebatable factors. Factor number one, IT holds immense potential. Factor number two, Bangladesh lags in IT utilization, unlike some other countries. Today, our debate is going to be centered whether the absence of proper training is one of the main reasons, not the only reason. And if not, what other reasons can fill this gap? Honorable Moderator, if you notice to this topic, there are three main points to discuss. Point number one, potentiality of IT. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, the word potentiality means the latent capacity of growth or success for something and someone, which means, according to this context, the latent capacity of growth in case of IT in our country is considered as the potentiality of IT. Secondly, isn't utilized. According to the context, isn't utilized means that something is not being properly or actively used to its full potential. And thirdly, the absence of proper training. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, the absence of proper training refers to the lack or deficiency of appropriate and effective instruction, education, and guidance needed to develop skills and knowledge for a particular field or profession. Respected moderator, today our team will center our debate on three core aspects. Firstly, how there is less proper tech utilization out there in our country. Secondly, the evident absence of IT utilization in our country. Then we will correlate these two factors to prove that how the inadequate training system is the main factor for which we cannot utilize IT properly in our country. First, let me show some problems for which we cannot use the IT properly. But to make it clear, these problems are actually not the main problems. In the root of all these problems, there is training, and we are going to prove that. So, let's start. The problem number one is our limited digital infrastructure. Honorable Moderator, we are improving our digital infrastructure day by day. I agree, but it is not on a global stage. Our slow internet speed and our lack of digital security actually proves the safe. Honorable Moderator, according to the OCLA 2021 Internet Speed Recording Index, the internet speed of Bangladesh is even far behind than that of Uganda. Honorable Moderator, the second point I want to talk about is the limited research and innovation. Honorable Moderator, we are still far behind the rest of the world in case of researching or innovating new IT products, systems, or applications. And Honorable Moderator, we are going to prove that this is because our people are not perfectly or properly trained in case of IT. Honorable Moderator, the third point I want to discuss is the educational barrier. The fourth point is limited IT jobs and opportunities. And the fifth and the last point is limited e-government engagement. Honorable Moderator, I have discussed the first 2 points, and the last 3 points will be discussed more by my second and third speaker later on. Honorable Moderator, to understand about training more, we have to divide them. And according to Investopedia, there are a total of 4 types of training. Number 1, institutional training. Number 2, professional training. Number 3, vocational training. And number 4, skill training. But unfortunately, Honorable Moderator, we do not have any kinds of training in our country at a proper form. And today, we're going to prove it by showing different data and logics. But, Moderator, We are going to mainly focus on 5 main logics to discuss. The logic number 1, traditional pedagogy. Logic number 2, outdated courses and curriculums. Logic number 3, lack of quality trainers. Logic number 4, inadequate logistics supports. And logic number 5, skill mismatch. Honorable moderator, let's dive deep in our curriculum system. We have a curriculum where instead of teaching us MS Office 2019, which is the latest version, we are taught the MS Office 2007. Instead of teaching us how to write emails on computers, we are taught how to write emails on a notebook. Yeah, I agree that there are different informatics Olympiad and programming Olympiad out there where our universities are doing so great. I agree. But we cannot say this as a proper training, because we can say that there is proper training in our country when that boy from the village can also get the same training like a board student. Honorable moderator, according Columbia University research supports the notion that IT training substantially enhances our nation's IT prowess. Not only that, Forbes asserts that IT training not only generates more jobs than it displaces. And that's all, honorable moderator. Thank you, honorable moderator. Thank you, everyone.
Now it's turn for against the motion. BF Shaheen College, Chattogram. The first speaker, Soban Sabir. May I request Soban Sabir to place his arguments against the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me the floor to speak. Topic of today's debate is the immense potential of information technology is not properly utilized due to the absence of proper training. I blatantly oppose the idea standing in the opposition. Listening to the first speaker of the opposition team, it is clear that you, my worthy opponents, do not understand the topic at all. So let me clarify. There are two parts of our motion. The first part is the immense potential of information technology is not properly utilized, and the second part is the absence of proper training. Honorable moderator, I may sound aggressive, but it sounds absurd that my fellow opponents justify that training is absent in our great nation in this new era of technology. If so, our genius and conclusive, one and only Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's dream and vision for a better future, digital Bangladesh, could not be accomplished in 2009. Our nation has great value, but due to various reasons, our potential is underutilized. Our fellow opponents think the sole reason for this underutilization is the absence of proper training. But it is obvious that proper training is not absent, and I will be justifying my words through my next arguments. There is no doubt that proper training plays a pivotal role, but let's not forget the big steps we have taken. We achieved a good position in the global market by offering different technological services to other countries. This success came mostly from our strong determination to learn as we work. From a recent news report from BSS News on July 17th of 2023, 63.3% of households in Bangladesh use smartphones. It is our powerful determination to learn and utilize smartphones without formal training through various ways. Furthermore, it is imperative to recognize that proper training does not suffice. Even with comprehensive training, the absence of proper field to apply our skills has a great impact on our progress. Our focus should extend to a proper tech-based environment, and let us acknowledge that performing group-based activities is something we do naturally in Bangladesh. This kind of community learning removes any primary needs of an overly formal and expensive training program. We must also face the reality that technology is ever shifting. What we learn today could be useless tomorrow. Hence, declaring formal training as the ideal solution is short-sighted at best. Our ability to self-educate, adapt to new standards, and possession of great curiosity are crucial in this fast-paced technological world. In conclusion, it's time to shatter simplistic views. While training undoubtedly plays a role, it is far behind from the sole reason for the underutilization of our information technology. Our resourcefulness and appetite for knowledge have led us to great heights, but our infrastructure still remains poor. If a tree is uprooted, no matter how much you water it, it still remains dead. Here, the root represents the infrastructure of our country. Proper training and the tree represents our potential. Therefore, to fully harness the potential of our information technology, we must adopt a holistic approach, a conducive ecosystem, and our innate strengths. Before I end my speech, I want to question my esteemed opponents. Do you have a proper infrastructure in Noakhali? I hope for a logical answer for my question. Thank you, Honorable Moderator, and all the judges. That will be all for today. I extend my gratitude to all in attendance. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I would like to invite Muhammad Faizuz Salehin. He is the second speaker from Noakhali Zilla School, Noakhali. He is supposed to put his arguments in favor of motion.
I'm starting by summarizing the speech given by the first speaker of our learned opponent. Honorable Moderator, their first speaker, after hearing the speech of their first speaker, it has been cleared that they didn't even understood our today's topic. Honorable Moderator, our today's topic asked us to discuss us. First of all, our today's topic given us the insurance that the IT, we couldn't even utilize IT properly till now in our country. But what they have said that we are using internet when we also have training, and what they want to say is that IT has been utilized in Bangladesh. But it is totally out of our today's context. Our today's debate is for why IT is not being utilized, and if training is not the reason, then why it is? What is the other reason? What are the other reasons? But what the first speaker has said, they just showed training. We also have training, and we also have IT utilization. My honorable moderator, judicial panel of judges, and learned opponents, greetings. The motion about today's debate is the immense potential of information technology is not properly utilized due to the absence of proper training, raising my voice on behalf of the motion. Honorable moderator, what do? If we want to change a habit or if we want to develop a skill, we train ourselves. Honorable moderator, what makes a doctor a doctor? What makes an engineer an engineer? I mean, what is the first criteria if you want to be a doctor or an engineer or a freelancer? We need to be properly trained, and all same goes to IT utilization. Respected learned opponent, no matter what you want to be or no matter what you want to do, no matter what I want to be or no matter what I want to do, in every single aspect of life, training is the first thing we need. Training is a must, and it's a fact. Similarly, if we want to utilize information technology properly, if we want to be the smart citizens of smart Bangladesh, we must be skilled in using technology. We must know where to use technology, when to use technology, and mainly how to use technology. And that is what training does. Now, we are not saying that we have absolutely no training facilities in our countries. In our country, we do have training facilities, but we don't have proper training facilities. I repeat, we don't have proper training facilities. Honorable moderator, we do have trainers, we do have training courses, and we do have equipments, but most of them are outdated and insufficient. Honorable moderator, our first speaker has already mentioned 5 core points on how there is less proper utilization of IT. Point number 1, limited digital infrastructure. Point number 2, limited research and innovations. Point number 3, educational barrier. Point number 4, limited IT jobs and opportunities. And point number 5, limited e-government engagement. As our first speaker has already talked about first 2 points, I'm going to describe the third point, that how there is an educational barrier, on how lack of training is creating and how lack of training is creating this educational barrier and hampering IT utilization. Honorable moderator, last year the Education Commission and the UNICEF published a report which shows that 84.9%, I repeat, 84.9% youth in Bangladesh don't even have basic digital skill. Compared to Nepal, 3% better than us. Compared to India, 17% better than us. And compared to Sri Lanka, 19% better than us. This information clearly shows that there is an educational barrier, a barrier which does not give us education on how to utilize information and technology. Now, how is this barrier created? I'm reasoning 3 points how lack of proper training is creating this barrier. Point number 1, traditional pedagogy. Point number 2, outdated courses and curriculum. And point number 3, lack of quality trainers. Yes, we know that government has created 4,161 Sheikh Russell digital labs all around the world. But establishing labs without updating our syllabus is totally like a constitution without any laws. Honorable moderator, just think about the harsh reality of our today's country. We are living in 2023 where the entire world is teaching about programming, about robotics, about AI, but our education system still teaches us how to create a mail account, how to write an email in our exam paper, and from class 6 to class 10, for a long 5 years, we are just taught how to use Microsoft Word 2007 version. But still, 84.9% student in our country is not don't even have basic computer skill. That means whatever we are taught, we are not taught properly, and whatever we are taught, they are not up to date. That means if there was a change in our curriculum, if our textbooks were properly designed, and then every students from every corner of the country could properly utilize information technology in their studies and also in their nearby future. Honorable Moderator, I don't need to show example of other countries. We can learn from our own success. Just think about our textile industries. Our garment industries don't teach any rocket science to their workers. What do they do? They just give them basic machinery skill, basic machinery training, and just because they give them basic training, today there are more than 40 lakh workers in our garment industry, and we are the second highest garment exporter in the entire world. And our current government has also implemented very laws to train our farmers. And that's why today, despite having a very small land area, we are the third highest rice producing, we are second highest jute producing nation in the world, just because we focused on our basic training. Thank you, Honorable Moderator. Thank you, everyone.
I would like to invite Kazi Muhammad Shafin Siddiqui from BAF Shaheen College, Chattogram. He is the second speaker against the motion.
Assalamu alaikum, Honorable Moderator, respected adjudicators, the fellow opponents, and the audience. Well, the fellow opponents have already made it easier for us to prove that what we stand is correct. Well, the second speaker from the proposition team has told that the root of well, the first speaker from our team has already described that the motion of today's debate and our stand. But it seems like the proposition team is still confused about the topic. What you are deliberately saying is there is no proper training in our country. However, if there was no proper training in our country, then how did we achieve the Smart Bangladesh title? Or is it just you lagging 10 to 15 years behind? Then I strongly believe that making the absence of proper training cannot be the only reason behind the underutilization of IT in our country. But before that, what I would love to share is a very short story with you all. Honorable Moderator, I was at my hometown when I got to know about the topic of today's debate. Then the very first thing I tried doing was perform a short research on this topic. So I googled up some phrases and tried entering a website. However, Honorable Moderator, I couldn't enter that website. Why? Because it kept loading and loading forever. Then in my simple mind, I tried calling my brother, who's currently living in Dhaka, so that I can gather some information about this topic from him. However, Honorable Moderator, I failed once again. Why? Because of the crucial state of network in our country. With this condition, I really don't know how the proposition team is solely blaming proper training as the only reason behind the lack of proper utilization of IT in our country. Because in this state, not even the general people can perform their day-to-day IT tasks properly. I really wonder how the skilled IT experts will. Honorable Moderator and the respected adjudicators, me and my team strongly believe that proper training is not the only reason behind the underutilization of IT in our country. Honorable Moderator and the respected adjudicators, me and my team strongly believe that proper training is just an excuse to hide all the major reasons for which we cannot properly utilize IT in our country, despite its immense potential between us. Therefore, now I'm going to present some facts which should be more primarily put into concern. The very first factor that I'd like to acknowledge is the lack of proper power supply. The current state of power supply in our country is pretty messed up. It can be frequently seen that there are power cuts even in the urban areas for 3 to 8 hours a day. Compared to the rural areas, there is barely any power supply. In fact, Honorable Moderator, according to a news article published by the Daily Star, it has been mentioned that due to the lack of proper power supply, our country suffers to a loss of approximately $33 billion every year. To a side note, Honorable Moderator, I almost had lost all the data which I gathered for today's debate, and due to this certain reason, I would have to rewrite, brainstorm, and then type it once again in my computer. But luckily, since I have an IPS at my home, I didn't lose all this data. However, Honorable Moderator and the respected adjudicators, I would love to grab your attention to the fact that how many people in our country can afford an IPS or a generator at their home? Therefore, in my simple mind, I would love to ask the learned proposition team that how are we supposed to perform IT activities and show our potential where the barrier of darkness is right in front of us. Then comes the lack of proper internet connectivity. Honorable Moderator, I hope we all know the tremendous role of internet in the IT sector. Inadequate and unreliable internet connectivity hinders the seamless communication and crucial IT operations. This lack was properly seen back in the COVID-19 pandemic period when all of our day-to-day offline tasks were shifted online. For instance, Honorable Moderator, when I used to do an online class of 30 minutes, most of it was lost to the crucial internet connection. In fact, Honorable Moderator, derived from a news article published by the Business Standard, it has been known that a vast number of students dropped out of school as their parents couldn't afford the internet bills. I really don't know how the proposition team is solely blaming the proper training as the only reason. For which I would love to ask the proposition team that if the affordability rate of internet were higher back then, would those students drop out from school? In fact, wouldn't those students provide any sort of benefits to the nation's economy? Proper distribution and the most main factor. Well, it is one of the major obstacles that our country is currently going through. In fact, if you search online, what is the major reason behind the underutilization of IT in our country despite its immense potentiality within us? The very first reason you're going to get, Honorable Moderator and the respected adjudicators, it is not the absence of proper training, but the lack of proper distribution. Thank you all for giving me your precious time by paying attention towards me.
Thank you. Now I am inviting the third speaker from Noakhali Zilla School. He is the team leader for motion. May I request the team leader Talha Mahmood.
Tom Coleman said, proper training is the cornerstone of mastery, turning potential into performance. And to transform the immense potential into performance, there is no secret sauce without proper training which can bring this transition. My honorable moderator, judicial panel of judges and learned opponents, greetings. Today's motion of the debate is the immense potential of information technology is not properly utilized due to the absence of proper training. Standing strongly on behalf of the motion. Honorable moderator, addressing this pressing issue today, I and my team strongly believe that the absence of proper training is the major inadequacy to bridge the gap between we can't and we can utilize the proper potential of information technology. Honorable Moderator, just as a plant thrives with proper care, skills flourishes with proper training, and it is clear as water that if you want to utilize the potentiality properly, you need properly skilled manpower, and skill can be only earned through proper training. You can't refuse this. Honorable Moderator, in such a context, today, my first speaker has clearly, purely, and surely mentioned that the debate is to choosing the main reason, but there can be the sole reasons too. And we today are standing for the absence of proper training when the opposition is opposing with us. And the opposition, please, if you guys opposing with us, then what is the main reason? If it's not, then which? And if it's not, then why? Please answer our question. Honorable Moderator, by showcasing some assortment of information and data, today, I and my team strongly substantiate our stance today. Honorable Moderator, my first speaker has outlined 5 points on how there is improper utilization of information technology. Point number 1, digital limited infrastructure. Point number 2, limited research and innovation. Point number 3, barriers of education and resources. Point number 4, limited IT jobs and opportunities. Point number 5, limited e-government engagement. Honorable Moderator, the first and the second speaker of my team has described the first 3 points. Here I will describe the rest. Point number 4, limited IT jobs and opportunities. Owing to an inadequate training system, our access to job opportunities and resources in this field is restricted. Consequently, these deficiencies impede our ability to harness the potential. Limited, point number 5, limited e-government engagement. This is just one facet of broader issue. The absence of comprehensive training across various tiers has led to a situation where individuals are not fully able to access the e-government services. For instance, the predicament is evident among the sugar mill farmers who are 58.7%, I repeat 58.7% of them remain unfamiliar with the utilization of e-Puji services. My question to the learned opponents that if they had been trained, then how, then why 58.7% of them remain unfamiliar with e-Puji services? Please question our answer. Honorable Moderator, would like to classify training in main 4 parts: institutional training, professional training, vocational training, and skills training. The second and the first speaker of my team has described the first point. I'll describe and present my arguments regarding the rest 3 points. Honorable Moderator, my first speaker has mentioned 5 points on the defects of training system, which we are quoting with the absence of proper training, which is causing us to not up to par with the immense potential of information technology properly. Point number 1, traditional pedagogy. Point number 2, outdated courses and curriculums. Point number 3, lack of logistic supports. Point number 4, lack of quality trainers. Point number 5, skills mismatch. The second speaker of my team has described the first 3 points. Here I'll describe the rest. Honorable Moderator, let me give a data. Bangladesh is ranked 126 in the most recent Frontier Technology Index Readiness 2023. Where our neighboring country, India has ranked 46th, Sri Lanka has ranked their position safe in 106th, Pakistan 125th, and German 7th. Honorable Moderator, summarizing my second speaker's speech, traditional pedagogy causing us to lag behind. Where German, Japan, Australia prioritize education with proper training focus, with rates ranging between 60 to 70%. By contrast, in Bangladesh, merely 14% students graduate with training-based education, even from a defective training system. Then how on earth we can properly untap the potential? Question remains. Honorable Moderator, then if we see the same sort of defects in the professional training system where there is post-entry, pre-entry, off-the-job and on-the-job training, and Dhaka University study shows that 62% organizations had HR department and 96% had proper training problem. Here also come a fourth argument, lack of quality trainers. BIDS survey 2020 shows that 22.4% trainees voted that there are lack of quality trainers. My Honorable Moderator, being trained from this training system, trainees cannot utilize the potential on the job sector, which I have mentioned in the very first of my speech, quoting, pointing, limited IT jobs and opportunities. Considering BUET as an example, its graduates are effectively leveraging the vast potential by cracking giant tech companies. Conversely, a student from Noakhali Science and Technology University must struggle to get the chance due to the lack of quality trainers, logistic supports, or courses which refers to the absence of proper training comparing to BUET. Then how learned opponents can refuse the absence of proper training? Question remains. Honorable Moderator, a very alarming data is 68%, I repeat 68% of the newly trained freelancers remain unemployed. They are unable to apply their skills on the job market as their skill set does not align with the prevailing market demand. Here comes our fifth argument, skills mismatch. Honorable Moderator, if you see at the TVT system, a significant portion is focused on the computing and IT related courses, and there also 60% cannot utilize the potential in the job sector properly. Thank you, Honorable Moderator. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. It's time for BF Shaheen College. I would like to invite the team leader, Sharika Noor Rahman, to step forward with your arguments.
My esteemed opponent, we feel unheard after hearing your words. My first speaker explained the difference between training and infrastructure. And even if you're right, our training will be only improved if we have a proper infrastructure, and mind that infrastructure and proper training are completely different topics. Why? Because the major reason you get is the lack of proper distribution, while the absence of proper training is quite nowhere to be found. This properly proves that what the proposition team is saying consecutively is completely wrong. So I can say that my second speaker have answered all your questions you might have not heard. Dear opponent, take my apologies, but you're delusional about the topic. Honorable moderator, adjudicators, the fellow opponents and audience. Assalamu alaikum. Well, what the fellow opponents are trying to prove is just the peak of an iceberg, whereas beneath the depths of that iceberg lies the major reasons. Honorable moderator and the adjudicators, I would like to draw your kind attention to the fact we do have proper training in our country. However, due to the lack of proper infrastructure, all of those are getting diminished. Actually, it is like cooking noodles without the noodles itself. Honorable moderator, the noodles here is basically the proper infrastructure, while the other ingredients are just the proper training. Our citizens are getting properly trained, which I'm going to talk about now. Firstly, let's talk about the government organizations for youth development, that is, the Directorate of Youth Development. Honorable moderator, to make Bangladesh a middle-income country, we need to make our large youth a key driver of development and growth. Keeping that goal in mind, the Department of Youth Development has been conducting various kinds of vocational training for job-seeking youth and young women. According to SDG 8.6 target, the Directorate of Youth Development has provided training to a total of 67,65,049 youth since its inception till June 2022. Among them, 22,02,296 self-employed persons till December 2021, whose monthly life limit is 4,500 to 1 lakh. As per its 8-part plan, 2020-21 to 2024-25, training target is 9,25,000 people. Training target for the financial year 2022-23 is 2,74,122. my learned opponent, please point me out. Where is the absence of training in our country then? I would expect a logical answer of it. Honorable Moderator, the first speaker of my team has explained the topic clearly. The second speaker of my team has said what are the obstacles of immense potential of IT for which is not properly utilized. The first and second speaker of my team have already proved that it is not the absence of training, but the absence of proper distribution, proper infrastructure, and proper mindset. I support my logic and oppose your logic. Honorable Moderator, it's not like our country is lagging behind in implementing IT in every aspect of our life, for which a good example is the term Digital Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a South Asian country with more than 163 million people focused on making a successful footprint in the world as one of the outstanding performers in IT. We believe that this focus will make Bangladesh one of the world's developing countries into a digitally developed nation by 2021, which was one of the fundamental constituent vows of the current ruling government. Bangladesh illustrates the latest idea of the valuable government. Honorable Moderator, instead of focusing more on the absence of training, I truly believe that firstly, we should focus more primarily on fixing the infrastructure problem. Therefore, I'd like to ask some questions to the fellow opponents that, number one, what initiatives do you propose to fix the lack of proper power supply? Number two, what initiatives do you propose to fix the lack of proper network coverage? Number three, what initiatives do you propose to fix the lack of proper distribution? And last but not the least, how are you going to fix the mindset of the people towards learning the immense potential of IT? Thank you, Honorable Moderator and adjudicators.
So by this time we have completed the first phase of this debate. Now the rebuttal phase. I would like to invite for the motions team leader Talha Mahmood for presenting his arguments.
Thank you, Honorable Moderator, to giving me the floor again. Honorable Moderator, as for us, we hold no credence in fanciful tales. Our perspective remains rooted in reality, which is why we find ourselves unable to concur with the arguments presented by our land opponents. Honorable Moderator, we have reiterated our recognition of the absence of proper training as a main factor. Nonetheless, it is imperative to emphasize that this is not the sole reason. Honorable Moderator, they have continuously showing the sole reasons as the infrastructure, the lack of power supplies. But my Honorable Moderator, we have correlated infrastructure with proper training at the very beginning of a speech, the speech given by a first speaker. Honorable Moderator, land opponents are offering hypothetical explanations despite the focus of this debate is to find the right course of action, to find the main reason. Thanks for taking pain. Rest assured, we are steadfast in our commitment and always here to unveiling the truth. Considering training as a fuel, proper training is the high-octane fuel that propels to new heights. Honorable Moderator, as per land opponents' hypothesis, their argument is like craving a burger without a patty. And Honorable Moderator, which is like refusing the absence of proper training as a main reason. Honorable Moderator, in my individual speech, I have mentioned that sugar mill farmers. My question to the land opponents that if they are given the proper training, if they had been trained, then why 58.7% have been unfamiliar with it? That means from the root, we are not, we have not ensured the proper training. We have ensured training, but it's not proper training. And proper training is the main reason whether our land opponents are presenting different sole reasons like infrastructure and logistic supports, etc. Continuously. Honorable Moderator, we agree that there are training, but not proper training. If the proper training is present in our country, then why 84.9% remain unskilled, what our second speaker has mentioned? Honorable Moderator, proper training and infrastructure is different that we have already mentioned. And I don't know why they have continuously trying to prove this, and that is like a cock and bull stories. And we have not, we cannot agree with their fanciful tales. Thank you, Honorable Moderator. Thank you, everyone.
Now I would like to invite the against the motions team leader Sharika Nur Rahman.
I have already told in my speech about yours. My fellow opponent, the lack of quality trainer, internet connectivity, and proper distribution are the main reasons for undistribution. They are connected with training but not the crucial cause. Without being acknowledged properly about the prospects, one wouldn't adopt information technology. Then again, due to lack of incentives, an individual loses his interest towards IT. Information technology is changing constantly, therefore, one should have proper mindset of self-learning for adapting the latest technology. Formal training is only done for the learning the basis of IT. Hence, in order to go with trend, one must have the mentioned above things in them. Here, training must not be the only concern, rather the proper mindset of individuals must be set. The messed up infrastructure should be fixed, then only we can achieve the proper utilization of IT in Bangladesh and compete along with the world in a more vast scale. But I believe that my fellow opponents may have not caught the topic properly. Thank you. This was all.
Sharika Nur Rahman, thank you. So we have finished the rebuttal phase. Now it's time for finalizing the results. So we are waiting for the results from the panel of the judges. At this moment, we have got to know the title, The Immense Potential of Information Technology is not properly utilized due to the absence of proper training. So we have some key points or keywords like information technology, the training, and the potentials. From the speakers from the both side described these terms very well with necessary figures, facts, arguments, and opposite arguments or anti-arguments. So we see that both teams presented many statistics, which is very much important for understanding the facts. At this moment, I would like to make some comments. So we are going to be a developed country. We are expecting to be a developed country. So now we are in the middle income country range. So if we want to step forward to the developed country, we need to know what is the key players, who are the key players in this transition, during these transitions. So we have to get to know the status of the key players of the developed countries. Among them, we must say, if we go to the developed country, we will see that they have strong IT infrastructure, strong human resources, enough research, and economic strength. So all the developed countries have IT infrastructure, good IT infrastructure, as well as the implementation of IT facilities. So the citizens of these countries have higher quality of life and smart services from the government. So taking into account this fact, our government has already implemented Digital Bangladesh. We have the infrastructure of Digital Bangladesh. Now we need smart services to the citizens. I think in this respect, we can contribute to the society by implementing the IT infrastructure as well as generating human resources with proper training. So both the teams performed very well, and the team in favor of the motion, they tried to emphasize on the training to generate resourceful person so that the country can step forward. And the against motion team, they also included some other players, some other important aspects which are necessary for this mission to achieve the goal. So I do believe whenever we think about the two developed countries, so I would like to make one example. The education sector, we see in the education sector that the educated people are going abroad for higher education like masters, MPhil, PhD. They are getting proper training. They are acquiring proper knowledge. And you will be very much happy to know that all the people who are going abroad for higher education, they are contributing a lot to the research community in other countries, in the developed countries especially. We have already got the result. I would like to show my deepest gratitude to the panel of judges. They worked very hard to finalize the result, and it's time for this happy moment. I would like to declare the winning team. This is Noakhali Zilla School from Noakhali. Congratulations. So I do congratulate the loser team also. You did a very good job. The best speaker is the team leader of Noakhali Zilla School. He is Talha Mahmood. Special congratulations to you. So it's time to close this session. I do appreciate and thanks to all the participants, including the speakers, judges, and the team. So it's time to close this session. Have a good day.